You're watching Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. I'm Martin Prendergast, joined by Conor McAvoy as we catch up with a great night for Irish football as the under-21s come from behind and beat Moldova 2-1. How are you getting on, Conor, and what do you think of the match?
I'm delighted now the match is won and it was over because it was always going to be a tricky tie. It was the sort of place like the pitch I put to you before saying it was like who drove a tractor through the middle of this pitch because it was an absolute disgrace. It was like a bog. It was shocking, but yeah, it was always going to be a tricky tie. Despite what some people have seen some ridiculous things online, people giving out about that, and I thought the commentary on the game was extremely harsh towards some of the players, and it was a sort of game that you just have to go there. You win the match and you get it over and done with, and you get the 3 points because that's all they needed was the 3 points. I thought, like, obviously there were some shaky moments. Moldova took the lead, but it was a credit because there was a lot of young lads in that pitch that made their competitive debut at under 21 level today, and at all underage groups, 21s is the biggest step up a player will have. And it was a massive step up for some of them lads today. And in fairness, a lot of them stood up and it showed the resilience that even when you're playing a tricky pitch, with Moldova had some decent players. In fairness, it's not like they were playing against San Marino where like you'd be worried if you only won 2-1. But Moldova were decent, they had a lot of chances, but Ireland actually stood firm. And in the end, they showed their class to go and pick up the 3 points because that's all that really mattered in the end because it wasn't one of those games where you need to go out there and you put on a show, especially the first game.
Yeah, I mean, this was an under-21 qualifier, kind of round one. So, yeah, tricky tie to go away to Moldova. And, you know, as we know, Jim Crawford's made some changes to the squad now this year, of course. And I think we've got to be happy with that overall result. I mean, it's results at the moment. This team's going to be in transition and developing all the time. And, you know, I think the pitch was a significant factor. When we're recording this about 20 minutes after final whistle, and you know, I'll be honest, I caught the last 10 minutes. I was tracking it on my phone as well. You know, the 5 o'clock kickoff caught a few people out with work, of course. But, you know, going into the Tuesday game now at home to Andorra and Tala, hopefully a big crowd will get behind the lads to see them because it's a fantastic start ultimately. And I think a player who is going to get a lot of the plaudits for this and perhaps is going to put arses on seats and Tala on Tuesday night is Melia. 2 fantastic goals. I mean, not poacher goals, really, weren't they? But great goals.
Yeah, it was outstanding work from Jada Kiki for their goal last night. It was all Jada Kiki. It was some outstanding work from him to win the ball back and then drive down the line and put it on a plate for Melia. But Melia, it shows his movement. His movement is exceptional and it's elite for a 17-year-old to be going out doing that in an under 21s game. You very rarely see 17-year-olds playing even under 21 matches, and particularly as a number 9, where that's where physicality really starts to set in. But because of his men's football experience, he's more than ready and sometimes looks almost too good at times at that level. And yeah, it's not like he was involved loads today where he was picking up the ball and he was making things happen, but he just, when he was needed, he showed up. And I think that's the sort of thing like Bene was speaking about the other day, was efficiency is more important than the flashy things and making things happen. Obviously everyone wants to do that, but it was a sort of game where just needed Mason Melia. One, he got his chances to take them and he got 2 chances and he took them very well. Like the first goal was brilliantly done by Jada Kiki, and then the second goal I must say it was an outstanding switch by Jim Crawford, because the only negative thing I'd say really about what I would discredit Jim Crawford with that game was going with 2 number 9s, because I do think it was just a struggle for O'Mahony to get into the game, and whoever was playing off each other, whether it was Melia off O'Mahony or Mahoney off Melia, one of them was going to struggle to get into the game, and because neither of them are the type of striker that was really like running behind or like have that like lightning pace like last year with Aidan Womaku and Sinclair Armstrong would have had. So they're different sort of profiles of strikers, but yeah, so I think it was a bit hard for Manny, and I do think the commentary on him was crazy to blame him. I don't think it was his fault. I think it was just a victim of the system as such. And then Harry Vaughan, who came on, obviously he is naturally a number 10. He came on and made a big impact. He's a lovely little footballer, excellent player, and he done unbelievably well to win that ball back where she had no right to win. The defender was twice his size, literally, and he won that ball back and drove down the line, and he made sure to get his head up, because a lot of lads would, especially at that age, would just square the ball across and just, if no one was there, they would just blame, oh, why aren't you in that position? But he waited till Melia was at the right time, and Melia, obviously his movement got him there and finished it lovely, and it was excellent, in fairness, from Ireland to go and get the 2 steals of gold, really, you'd call them, because they weren't like there were moments of magic. They were just endeavour and hard work and grit and determination is what you need at this level, because everyone goes on like, oh, you're playing Moldova, you're playing a minnow. There's no minnows really anymore in international football. Teams like Moldova will always give you a good game, and they made it as tricky as possible with the pitch, making the pitch not really that playable. I remember it was the same last year actually for the under-19s when they had the early rounds played in Moldova. It was very tricky to play football on the pitch, and some people seem to understand it. It is a massive adjustment for these lads. Like, I look at lads like James
Yeah, I
Bank,
think
like, sorry,
yeah.
just lads like James Bank and Rocco Vata are used to playing on the best of the best pitches, and people say, "Oh, if you're a good player, you can change up." But like, it is a massive adjustment going to playing pitches where if your first touch is crisp, there's nothing going to happen. With your first touch could have been crisp today, and then the pitch just took it away from you, or the pitch took a big bobble off it once you put it on the feet. But yeah, go on ahead. Sorry, Martin.
No, I mean, look, we're building up to obviously the senior team in action, their first World Cup qualification game, obviously at home on Saturday against Hungary, but we're forgetting that it's very early on in the season as well. So even for these younger lads, the under-21, some of them are playing, some are not. Jim Crawford's made changes to the squad, brought players who have been in the senior squad in the past. Obviously, Abanqua, Rocco as well. But and after a very busy season for likes of Melia as well, we just got to be mindful that some of the lads are. It's the kind of start of their season as well. So kind of be little factors in with that. Just to go through the team and you can give me some thoughts of any standouts, of course. So in goal, we had Noah Jolney, Jacob Devaney, was at the back, was he? Jacob Slater, James Abanqua was captain, Sean Grehan, of course, as well. He gave everyone a bit of a scare right at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. We'll probably go through just on the back line. It wasn't an easy game to defend, and I wouldn't say it was a classic Irish defensive performance. And like I know a lot of the lads probably there would probably be I don't have to be disappointed with their own performance, but to know they could do more. But it was one of those games. The pitch did not help at all. People seem to forget, like, even with defensively, when balls are coming in behind and it takes a skid off the pitch or it bobbles off the pitch, or even if someone's running at you one on one, when they run at you, the ball bobbles up, and when you're thinking, what's going on here? But defensively, in terms of winning aerial crosses and getting their foot on blocks and making things, when it really mattered, they did show enough. Obviously, the goal, they'll be disappointed with the goal, but I do think it was more weak from not closing down the man who played that pass. Who actually can't remember his first or second name, but he was a very decent player. But it wasn't. And Noah Johnny and Nets actually was. I thought he was very, very solid for his competitive under-21 debut. Like, he hasn't. I don't think he's played a competitive game of senior football yet, because he's a stat breast and he's the number 3 there. So I don't think he's even played a competitive game of senior football. So it was a massive test for him to come in today, and he was very good from aerial crosses, and he only had to make a couple of saves, and it wasn't like he made world-class saves, but what he had to do, he done very well.
And of course, then the midfield as well. Then you had Jad Akiki, Adam Murphy, Jamie Mullins, Rocco Vata, and then just behind, obviously, Marco Mahoney and Mason Melia with the 2 goals. But what did you think of our attacking threat? And I know you mentioned some of the assists we've had already, but anyone else? With Rocco, and I caught, as I said, last 20 minutes, and was it Alan Corley on the co-coms? Very critical of Rocco, I think. Just that he flatters to deceive, and he's got to do a lot more. I just felt it was a bit negative, the commentary overall.
Yeah, I thought it was. I think it screamed a lad that doesn't watch him play for Watford and just sees him with Ireland or 21s. But the reality is, he is second top goal scorer all time for Ireland under 21 level, and you can say whatever you like. He's the second top goal scorer for Ireland 21 level because he's that elite of a player. And the reality is, he was saying about him stepping up in this campaign. I would be shocked if Rocco Vata plays a game of under 21 football in 2026, because we all know how Heimer thinks. From everything I've heard, when he came into the camp in March, he was the standout player in training, and Heimer loves him. He wanted to bring him in June, but he couldn't do so because he was carrying a knock with Watford. And the reality is, he's been carrying a knock all the start of the season. He had a hamstring injury, and he only came back and he picked up a little ankle niggle today, which I hope isn't too bad. I know he took his boot off, but he was able to walk around the pitch after, which would fill me with a bit of hope that it's nothing too serious. Whether I'd imagine he probably won't play on Tuesday now. But yeah, I thought what he was saying about Rocco was ridiculous and way over the top. I know sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment and you're in that situation, sometimes you say stuff that you don't mean. Like, well, it wasn't being personal to Rocco, but I think he was way over the top with his criticism, Rocco, because the reality is, even when you watch that game today, you'd still say, even though Rocco didn't take his chances he had, they were all chances that Rocco created himself out of individual moments of brilliance. And he was still Ireland's biggest threat at the end of the day, because he was making things happen. He had a couple of very decent opportunities, but he created for himself. It's not like he'd open goal at the back stick or anything. And he scores goals, he creates goals. He got an assist last weekend for Watford, the championship level. And I can only try to compare Owen Elding's goals with Sligo to Watford. And as good as Owen Elding is, he's an unbelievable player. He's been the best young player in the League of Ireland this season. You can't compare a lad that's scoring goals in the League of Ireland to a lad that's doing it in the championship, because there is still a gap there. But Yeah, I thought Rocco was threatening. I thought it was ridiculous what he was saying, but I do think Rocco uh won't pick another 21 for much longer. But anyway, the others, I thought Kiki was very good, very tricky. Obviously got that lovely assist when it really mattered to kind of turn the game around by single-handedly by doing that moment of brilliance. And yeah, I think he was very solid, especially his first competitive start at 21s level, playing off the right when he's usually a number 10 for Sligo. So I'm happy with how Kiki done. I thought Adam Murphy in midfield was very solid. I thought uh, he broke up play a lot. He was tidy in possession. He was getting around, covering a lot of ground. It was a tough game for a player like Jamie Mullins because anyone knows Jamie Mullins, what he's like as a footballer. He's unbelievably technically. He's technically, I'd say, probably by far the most technically equipped player in that squad. What he can produce in midfield, but it wasn't a day where you'd have your main midfielder, your main number 8 as such, picking up the ball and taking it on the half turn and spraying passes, because we only got to see glimpses really of what he was capable of because of the pitch, which in reality is always sad. But I think come Tuesday night in Tala, I think he'll be the one to watch with his, well, I think he'll control that game for fun and he'll make a bit of moments of magic. But, and then, yeah, with the front two, I think it was just obvious Melia was just being Melia. He just, when it really mattered, Mason Melia stood up and shown his real quality and class. And that was only an average Mason Melia. It could have been less than average Mason Melia performance, and he still scored 2 goals. So it shows how unbelievable talent he is. And as said, Mark O'Mahony, I just felt bad for Mark. I just think he was a victim of the system, and because he was playing as that second number 9 behind Melia, he struggled to get into the game. Which, like, I don't blame Jim Crawford for trying it when you have 2 lads of that ability playing as number 9s. They both can score goals. They both have very good movement, but I just think he probably mightn't try that again with them too, because it's kind of a bit, I think it was a bit like what the Parrott and Ferguson thing at the senior level is. It's just they don't complement each other well enough for that to make it work. But yeah, 2 excellent young strikers, and I don't think O'Mahony should take any. I don't think he should be too disheartened by that game, because it was just too difficult. Despite, I just hope he didn't listen to Alan Cawley back on it, because he was being over the top with O'Mahony as well. But yeah, I'm happy with how the team done, and like the subs came on. Harry Vaughan, game changer, got that assist. Darius Lupasic came on, broke up play well, and Michael Looney came on, won a couple of key frees towards the end to win some free kicks. And yeah, I think that was the 3 subs that came on. I don't believe anyone else came on, Martin, did they?
No, it's just the 3 subs.
Yeah, so
yeah, just looking at some stats there as well. Possession wise, 56% Ireland, which isn't bad for an away game. Dominated the shots, 14-12. More passes. I would have kind of expected that with the kind of percentage dominance. But 2 bookings as well. Journey and Devaney got booked, didn't they? So hopefully they won't be costly going down in the future games that are coming up. But yeah, no, I mean, we've got to be happy overall with that performance. I think it'd be interesting to hear what Jim Crawford says. We'll obviously get that up on some of our social media channels, and
there was no
post some of the comments.
Yeah, it's just there was no RTE as such there to reflect on. So hopefully the FAI will have quotes up with him soon that we can listen to, because I don't want to have to wait. Then other than that, we'll have to wait till Monday to hear what his thoughts are. But hopefully there'll be something up. And I think the independent aren't out there, so I don't think there's any Irish media out there as such. So which is a bit of a pity. But hopefully the FAI have something up. And the thing is, when you look at that squad today, lads like Cal McCarthy, Trent Coney-Doherty didn't come on in midfield. Even Alex Murphy, who's been excellent for Newcastle in pre-season, didn't play at all. And then even Romeo Akachukwu wasn't on the bench either, which was a big surprise. So hopefully lads like that might get their chance on Tuesday, because no disrespect, Andorra, that's the team that we should be at home, which I know it will work out probably. I think they'll finish last. They'll be probably like San Marino, and no matter what's scored, it doesn't go towards your goal difference, and the points don't count. I think it's the same as what the last group was whoever finished last, the points didn't count. So yeah, hopefully they can put on a show on Tuesday night. We might see a few more of the maybe your attacking style players. He'll probably go with a 4. I think he'll probably go with a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-2-1 rather than the 4-4-2, which was more to grind out the result and kind of go off what Heimer Halgrimsson kind of has sort of been doing with Ireland. And I think it worked well. It got the result, and sometimes it's not pretty, but you just have to go out there and win these games, because it's never easy at this sort of level of opposition.
Yeah, I mean, that's again looking forward to Tuesday now, and obviously just with that in mind, the senior team are obviously in action in Armenia, taking on Armenia in Yerevan. So the lads are going to be out there at that. But we have got a very special offer for you, the Lansdowne Raw faithful. If you are in Ireland and you're going to be in Dublin on that night, you've got an opportunity to win 4 tickets for the game in Tala that we're going to be giving away. And all you have to do is be a subscriber to our channel, follow us on our Twitter page, and we're going to put a post up about how to win for these tickets. And all you have to do is reshare that, be a follower of the channel Twitter handle as well, and tag in who you'd like to bring along with you. That's the kind of rules of that competition, and then we'll announce a winner. But we do want these tickets to go to good homes that you will actually go to the game as well. So 4 tickets for the game in Tala. So go and support the under-21s, which will hopefully be just following on from a great result that we're going to hopefully get in Armenia when Ireland play their second World Cup game, the away game, obviously, on Tuesday. Conor, just get your attention back into the room.
Yeah, sorry. I've seen made a spelling mistake. I said they were playing Armenia on Tuesday night, and I was like, what have I got that? I've mixed up with seniors. 2 hours.
We are obviously going off to the games. These World Cup qualification campaigns, of course, starts on Saturday. We're looking forward to that. We're going to be going to Slattery's for a couple of pre-match pints in Beggars Bush. They're around the corner from the Aviva Stadium. So if you want to come along to there, that's the place for a pre-match pint. And then the lads will be going off into the stadium to do their pre-match chat on the as soon as the teams are announced from inside the stadium, and of course join us for the aftermath as well. If you want to get notifications of all of that, do subscribe to Lansdowne Raw. That's where you'll get all the latest news in Irish football with Conor and Dave and myself. And it's been brilliant catching up with you this evening. And thanks for watching. Make
our
sure
preview.
You subscribe.
Don't worry, our preview.
Oh yeah, sorry, go
tomorrow.
On.
Our preview tomorrow night for the
main game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm forgetting who, because all these teams are playing and we get mixing up who are playing who's playing who. All I know is Hungry Saturday night, and then it's the 2 A's on Tuesday night, which hopefully actually we'll have, because the game in Moldova, the game in Armenia kicks off at 5 o'clock Irish time, doesn't it? And then the 21s at 7:30. So hopefully maybe at it'll be 9 o'clock local time, and so it'll be 11 for us over. Hopefully at 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock at night, whenever it is in Armenia, that we'll be able to watch the 21s at the same time. But exciting few days, Martin.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, looking forward to it. This is the start of an important year for Irish football now. So, following the under-21s, of course, and this is where you get it all on Lansdowne Raw. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you really soon.